Welcome back to Deep Thought. We're going through the original Mega Man, and now it's time to face Elect Man, or
the
Electric
only difficult
Man.
Stage.
Even then, it's not difficult. This is like one of the most annoying sections of the game, just making these jumps here.
Well, yeah.
Just because you got
When I
to
say
be
difficult, I don't mean challenging. I just mean kind of just pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you use the rolling cutter, is that what it's called?
Rolling cutter, yes.
Yeah, if you use this against these enemies, it becomes less annoying because I hate those guys so much.
Well, yeah, they are kind of irritating.
Please don't tell me you get hit by those guys that appear on the ladders.
I can't remember, but...
If you do, I'm going to kill you.
Okay, I probably did.
Well, to be fair, these guys are also annoying too, and really hard to avoid.
Okay,
if you're
you
not
actually
fast
know how
enough.
to beat them.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get hit. But, yeah. I'll try to remove most of the fuck-ups, but I'm going more for optimising for speed here than,
Great job!
Excuse me for putting my state in the wrong place.
And again, I don't like these things too. These disappearing blocks. It's just annoying design.
Honestly, I've sort of grown used to them as someone who plays a lot of Mega Man, although I know later games in the Mega Man series have tended to wait until the Wily Castle to put them in. Like, I know Mega Man 6, it doesn't have them until you get to Wily Castle, which is quite weird. Seems like they just sort of shoved them in for necessity's sake.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. It's just a thing they do,
Yeah.
It's got to the point where they've made it such a staple where they kind of have to, even though they're not exactly that great gameplay-wise. I don't think
To be fair, in Mega Man 6, you can at least, rush jet your way.
Yeah, well, the rush adapter in 6 is fantastic, but yeah, we'll get to that one quite a bit later down the line.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we're about to get the sort of helpful item in this game as soon as Flame stops fucking up.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, you may want to start with Bomb Man if you don't want to end up revisiting this stage in order to just get this item, which, man, I was looking this up earlier, I can't remember what it's called. Magnet
Beam.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's absolutely, although it's not required to pick it up, it's absolutely required to beat the game. You literally can't get past Wily Stage 1 without it.
Which is pretty fucking dumb given how sort of tucked away it is.
Again, it was that kind of bullshit that they sort of used to get away with at the time. I still don't agree with it though.
Nah.
Luckily, Mega Man 2 doesn't do that kind of thing. The only annoying bullshit in that game we'll get to.
But it's the thing even you're saying about the order to go with least backtracking and that. It's a thing that's kind of different between this game and 2, because this game there is at least a sort of general direction you want to go in boss order so you can get the shit in however. Whereas 2, because it's easy Robot Master wise and that you can go in basically any fucking order you want.
Especially on
True.
normie mode, but on difficult mode, I still recommend... I'll get to it when we get to Mega Man 2, but I still recommend going Airman first. Also, I want to point out these sections are annoying, and the worst thing is, this is the only Mega Man game that has hazards in the area leading up to the boss.
Yeah, the checkpoint rooms are big later. They're just literally just that, checkpoint rooms. Here it's just a final little challenge before you approach the boss. And this boss is difficult.
He can kill you in 3 hits to give him some credit. If you come in with 1 bar of health, he might actually kill you if he hits you.
Yeah, but I can kill him in 3 hits too.
Well, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is when you're fighting him normally and you're not safe stating like a bitch, and you're not using the pause trick, he's sort of... he can kill you a bit.
Yeah, and from Elect Man we get the most OP weapon of the game, and the first stage that we use it on is, of course, this stupid...
Although, with how this weapon is so OP, it lags out the game basically every fucking time I use it.
Also, Mega
Yep.
Man doesn't jump higher in water like he would in future games.
Yeah, they came up in later games with some weird ass physics for water, like you jump higher in water somehow, even though that should technically bog him down. But whatever, series here he's still
Give
got
Mega
his weight
Man
in the
credit,
water.
its water levels are the more tolerable water levels in video games, since there's no hit limit. In fact, water in Mega Man, it doesn't limit Mega Man's abilities at all. It actually improves his jumping. So, as far as I see, the water in Mega Man is actually quite a fun mechanic.
It can be, yeah, like particularly, Bubble Man type stages where there's a lot of jumping around, but here the water's just,
Yeah, and Iceman stage in general is just blah. Ice physics in these kinds of games are crap. It's just a bad mechanic, an annoying one that just, it doesn't really add anything. I mean, it's mainly just on an aesthetic purpose that, I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool you slide across the ground, but it doesn't really help when I'm trying to accurately get to one platform to the next one, especially here.
The annoying thing is that in Mega Man 1, Mega Man has more traction anyway than in later games, so yeah, it's quite annoying, although maybe it's just because this is probably the Mega Man game I've gone through the most apart from maybe 2. It doesn't really bother me that much. I tend to just jump around rather than walk left to right, so I can usually position myself well enough.
Yeah, because this entire game's on ice, let's be frank. But I don't like Mega Man's control in this game. Like you say, it's refined more in later games, and for the kind of platforming Mega Man is, the slippery controls.
Why did you get hit there? You could have used the magnet beam to get over him.
Because that would have took longer.
Yeah, you can also use the magnet beam to make a super, super long bridge to just get across that long gap if you wanted to. Flame obviously didn't because he's got skills.
No, I pussy out in a different way.
Yeah.
And now we have Iceman, who's for some reason weak against electricity. Although I will say, since ice is just frozen water, and water is a very good conductor of electricity, so, to give the creator some credit, yeah, he probably would be hurting quite a lot if electricity hit him.
I just love that it froze me in the hit animation. One more Robot Master, because this game is incredibly short with these. So this guy, he's Fireman. That means he's good at putting out fires, right?
No, he causes them, and this is probably one of my favorite songs in the game, and I think it's one of the more underrated Robot Master stages in this game, just because people don't talk about it as much as Bomb Man or...
Yeah, it's a good song, but the stage itself is just kind of meh, because, the fire
I don't mind it because
things
at this point, it's the final stage, so, you're kind of just... At this point, it's the final stage. You have absolutely everything you need. You have the magnet beam, you have the ice beam if you want to freeze the fire sticks. So honestly, I don't think
that's how physics work.
I don't care. Mega Man.
Let's freeze the fire with ice. Yeah. Okay then. Whatever you say, Mega Man.
Mega Man is real physics.
Yeah.
Also, it's really hard to dodge that thing back there, those fire laser things.
That's why I didn't try.
Yeah, this stage is also another example of the art design in this game not being very good, being very dull, as a matter of fact. We got this very basic black background here, and a lot of repeating textures. I mean, a lot of games did that, but still, it's not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah. Again, this game only had a 1 megabit cartridge to work with, as opposed to the later games which had 2 megabit and 3 megabit and 4 megabits from 4 to 6. So it didn't have much, it literally just did not have the space to have as much detail in the backgrounds.
Yeah, and I'm convinced that there's absolutely no way to dodge those fire things, except you just gotta be really, really quickly. But I've never been able to do it.
Or use the magnet beam, but I don't think there's an actual legitimate way to do it.
I'm not sure. They do move too quickly, really, which is kind of irritating.
It sort of reminds me of the Robot Master himself.
Yeah. Fireman's probably the only one that there's legitimate difficulty with, I'd say.
Also, the health power-ups look like footballs in this game as opposed to circles.
Yeah, and they kept that when they ported over to the Wily Wars version as well. Like in 2 and 3, they've got the new design. In 1, they kept the original sort of.
I think that's cool, just to be consistent.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, Fireman.
Fire robot is weak to ice. Okay. But I think he has got a sort of pattern where the fire that appears on the ground comes under where it
comes
was
over
that
where
you
you
crossed
where
him.
you it comes over where you are basically.
Yeah. But fuck it, I had more health, so I just sort of pounded him.
And now he's been extinguished forever. We'll see you guys on the next episode.